Everybody today. Good to see everybody. It is Coach Randy Byrd, and I'm excited to be here for you on our Tuesday coaching call. Every single Tuesday, we do this, pretty much every week. We do it somewhere around 45 times a year. There's a couple weeks we take off, but the bottom line is we try to keep production conversations in the forefront so we can help you move the conversations and your business forward. All right. So thank you for being here. I'm Coach Randy Byrd. I will be hosting the call today like I do every week. So you're welcome to invite anybody to the call. It is a free call and it typically somewhere between 20 and no more than 30 minutes. And we talk about everything from technology to like today, we're going to talk about CRM management, how to build automations that will make leverage a part of your business. So you could basically communicate with buyers and sellers and clients in a way that is predetermined and give you all the benefits of that without having to do that on a daily basis and forget about it. And then you complement that with your personal behavior, calling personally, whatever it may be. Okay. And we can even automate that. We could do those kind of things. So, if you're going to speak up, just raise your hand. I will bring you in. If not, I will mute you just so we don't have noise that's in the background or anything. But good to see everybody today. Thank you for being here. And I will have Q&A at the end also. So if you have anything that might help you, I do have Q&A available at the end that you can ask any question you want. And we do record this for your protection and safety, security, not safety and
Right.
security,
Right.
just privacy. If you want to, here, I'll mute you. Thank you. If you want to have me take off the recording and just share it with this little group, I could do that as well. So if you have something like you don't want the world on YouTube seeing, like saying, I just can't get out of bed in the morning to make my calls, whatever it is, I can I can mute you. I can hide your identity a little bit, and I can certainly stop the recording to help you with that because you're the priority here, not the recording. Okay. So with that, let's get started. First of all, I'm going to change the view here so it looks a little easier. Let's see if I can do the speaker view. Um, Immersive is like a bunch of people in a jury or something. It's really weird. Um, let's see, gallery and then pin. That should work pretty good. There we go. Okay. I don't know if you guys have done the immersive before, but it looks like a lineup or something. Looks like you're in the police station getting a lineup, and I don't know. It doesn't look good to me. But anyway, it's my show. I can make jokes even if they're not funny. Anyway, so here we go. Let's talk about CRMs. CRMs are what you're going to be focusing on. Stands for Contact Resource Management, right? So a CRM, there's a lot of them on the market. Just to name a couple, you got Lofty, you got KV Core, Bold Trails now, you have Close. These are all the ones my particular company provides. You have Go High Level. You have Boomtown, which got bought out by KV Core, now Bold Trails. You have Top Producer. You have Sierra Interactive. There's just dozens of CRMs, right? So the best one on the market, if you want to take a moment to grab a pen and write this down, it's really, really valuable. 23 years in real estate, I could tell you the best CRM to use. You ready for it? The one that you actually use. That's the answer. The best CRM on the planet is the one you actually use. And that could be your cell phone, even. It could be a spreadsheet. It doesn't matter. The old days, you had the Rolodex that had the wheel. I had those on my desk 25 years ago. The Rolodex, you'd scroll through the bees and you'd start looking. Then I taped their business card in my Rolodex. I thought I was the cat's meow. Nowadays, I've got 5,000 contacts in my phone. In my CRM, I have 50, let me look to be totally transparent. I have 53,163 contacts in my CRM from 23 years, right? Clients, vendors, everybody I've ever met, even the people I never want to talk to again in my life are in my CRM. Now, I might have do not call next to them. I have a little acronym. If you ever see it written on any of my paperwork, you'll know the secret, but it's TBNTB, to be or not to be. That's my little acronym I use that's better than writing delete or jerk or a-hole, whatever it is, right? Instead of putting that in my notes, I just put to be, not to be, TBNTB. And so that's my little acronym that I use, and my staff knows what that stands for. It means not us, right? We're not a good fit, not my kind of people. So when we look at the CRM, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to build a plan in Lofty today. Whether you use Lofty or not is somewhat irrelevant, but you could see how we could set these automations up. And you could do everything from have automated voice mails delivered to people with technology today. You got slide broadcast, you got slide dial, you got some things that the word sly is in the beginning of it for a reason. It will automatically put a voicemail into your mailbox without your phone ever ringing. It's like you missed a call, but it never happened. It actually goes bypasses your ringer and goes directly to your voicemail. So if you don't want to call somebody, you don't want to have them pick up, but you want to get a voicemail into their system, you could do that in a mass benefit, right? You could send 1,000, 100, 50. Like, let's picture you're the coach of a softball team and you have 30 people on the team. Leaving every single one a voicemail would be tough if you have a game on Saturday you're trying to discuss. But you could record your best voicemail one time and make sure you nail it, got it correctly. Like, this is Coach Byrd. We're having the best softball game. Make sure you're at the park. The park is at 123 Banana Street. Make sure you're there by 9:45 this week. Get it right once and then send it to all 30 people with the click of a button. That's cool. That's slide dial or slide broadcast. The other things you have are automated texting features. Automated texting features are just that. Instead of sending one message on your phone, and there's a lot of apps that are available for your phone, so you can write one message and send it to a group of 50, but it comes through individually, right? If anybody's on this call that's been in my circle before, you've got automated texts from me that look like they're from me. And many times you can tell the difference on some of them because I'm being generic, but you never know if it's me or my system. That's the goal. Like, a lot of times people will respond, "Oh, I know this is Randy's AI." I go, "No, it's Randy. I'm sitting right here on my couch," and I'll send them a picture or a video of me sitting on my couch texting them. And they're like, "Oh my God, I thought it was AI, or I thought it was this." Could have started that way, but I took over, right? So that's the benefit of communicating with buyers and sellers and servicing buyers and sellers with automation. So imagine for a minute, and I had this set up 20 years ago when I was in construction and then started my real estate journey. Imagine a system that's predetermined to communicate with your people, right? And we're going to build one in a minute, but just follow with me for a minute. Imagine a system that you could say, okay, we just opened escrow today at 12:40 p.m. Pacific time. We just opened escrow. And at 12:50, I want to send them a text saying, "Congratulations, the escrow's been accepted, and I'll be going to title soon to open escrow." And then I know that I'm going to go to escrow within a day. So tomorrow at noon, I send them another one that says, "Hey, title has been notified. We've opened escrow. I will be getting you the escrow number if it's not already been delivered in your email." So it doesn't matter what time, you're kind of saying what's going to happen next. And then the next thing is you could send them an email saying, "Congratulations, here's a copy of your title order." That can all be automated, and you can have integrations making that all happen. You can easily say, "Hey, by the way, we're going to need this form filled out. It's a DocuSign. Here it is." That can be done in advance. So they're getting all these things done, and they think you're just absolutely on top of it, which you are because you designed it in the beginning. The key to this is leverage. The key to this is you have the leverage to now, I can do that with 10 or 50 or 100 clients. I can launch an automation on them. And within the parameters, you might need different automations. If you have a 12-day escrow versus a 30-day escrow versus a 45-day escrow, you don't want to have a 45-day escrow and wait 30 days to send them something, right? All these things can be modified, but I want you to wrap your head around the idea of creating this leverage in your business to have automation take over. And now with AI, it's even more powerful. I mean, I used to spend hours in our spreadsheets. We have 1,100 agents and 90,000 in the company, and we get the top-down reports: who did deals, who did their biggest transaction ever, who did this, how many units they did this month, how many people are in their organization. All these things are in the spreadsheet that is literally pages and pages and pages long. I was meeting with my staff yesterday and I accidentally hit the wrong button, and I printed out the whole report, and it printed for an hour before I could shut my computer off. It was smoking and steaming. It was just like I tried printing like 1,800 pages and I didn't mean to. I just hit the wrong button and it went to print all. And no matter what, canceling the printer, it would not cancel. It just the print thing was in queue and it just kept regurgitating it. I took that size of a file and I put it into Gemini. Gemini is just an add-on with Chrome and so on. I opened up the file, I opened Gemini, and I said, look for anybody in this list that just did their first transaction. Bam, a list of them came out and I can acknowledge them. And I said, look in this list and tell me who did their biggest transaction ever this month in January. Bam, 127 people did their largest transaction ever in their career. And I have that list that I can now reach out to them. Again, I could build an automation that says, hey, congratulations on your biggest transaction ever. It is very personalized because I took the time to design the system. But to them, it's very personalized. I acknowledge them, made them feel good about it, right? You see the power of this. It's really, really incredibly powerful. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to deliver on that. I'm going to show you building an automation from scratch. And we'll just build something kind of fictitious so you can see how cool it is. But I want to show that to you and have you understand the power of that. And then I'll be back in probably about 5 minutes or so, and maybe 10 at the outside. And then I'll answer any questions you have, and we'll wrap up the training for the day. But again, I'm using this in Lofty. You can translate this to any of the other CRMs, whether it be Bold Trails, Close, High Level, Top Producer, anything I say can be translated. It's just a little different way that they're put into the system, right? And so without any further ado, let's open up my CRM and I'm going to show you this. So I'm going to open up my CRM. I'm going to go to automations, smart plans, right? So within smart plans, you can see I have all these smart plans in place. I have pages and pages and pages of them. This is 50 per page. So that means I have about 50 automations. Let's see how many I have. I think I have about 50 automations. Yep, 60 automations basically I've set up. And they're all kinds of different things. I have them for buyers and sellers and unsubscribed texts and follow-up text and an 8x8 email, Facebook initial contacts, birthday plans, all kinds of things, right? But what you do in Lofty specifically is you create a smart plan, and then I could say from scratch or from a template. The templates, there's lots of templates in here. You could use this template buyer, no response with AI, right? Use template. It's going to automatically put this template into place that you can edit. It automatically has a trigger. It automatically has actions. You can see all these things that it's doing. And that will speed you up so you can get going quickly. If you look, this one is a template where it says it waits 3 days. So a buyer comes on your website, 3 days later, it will say, hey, Chris, do you want a weekly updated property alert suiting your criteria? Please contact me if you want any help. And then agent name. This is all auto-populated automatically. I can also edit this and make it say, I want it to go out in 10 minutes instead. So just like that, it's going to go out in 10 minutes. Or with a click, I can make it go out in 3 days. I could also tell it to go out at 5:03 p.m. Like if I know somebody works till 5, I can actually change things that minutely. Really, really cool. All right. But for the record, we're going to go back. I'm going to hit discard. And we're going to build one from scratch just to show you this. Now, I could build a standard plan, or you could click like New Year's plans, Christmas, Valentine's Day is coming up, birthdays. You could pick their birthday and send them a plan automatically. Or you could do something like this, like a lead date or a transaction date. So let's just say their transaction closed today. You could put close date today and then hit start. And now you're building it so it only happens on that day every single year. You could tell it to order flowers, or you could tell it to send them an email and say, congratulations on your first anniversary of closing your home, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. You could do that all automated and put a 10-year set it and forget it automation in here pretty easily. So pretty cool stuff. But for today, I'm going to do a standard plan, meaning I have full autonomy to change everything as I want to. So for the plan name, I'm going to put coaching sample. All right. And targeting leads, I'm not going to go into great granular detail, but basically, if you want it to be exactly equal to something specifically, like a buyer, I could do that. If I want it to be a couple of things, I could go buyer and seller, and I can make it to include one of them. Or I can make it where it has to include all of them. That means they have to be a buyer and a seller to get that particular automation available. But in this case, I like doing, they want to be one or the other, right? So it's a buyer or seller language that I'm doing. I can put it as my plans or company. And then what a cool thing with this is I can auto pause it. Like if the lead reaches out to me, I don't want to keep sending them something that says, "Hey, I haven't heard back from you in a little bit," when I talked to him yesterday, right? So I could put stuff like a lead responded, then take action, right? Move to a pipeline. I can make it add a tag. I can make it add a segment. I can do whatever I want. In this case, we want to move to a pipeline. And then the pipeline is like my tasks daily. If they reach out, I want to make sure I'm reaching out to them that day. If the lead's pipeline changes, it pauses. If there's a trigger that's changed or the source, or I like an outbound call is logged, right? As talked. If I talk to them, I want to make sure that that stops that automation so the next message doesn't go out 2 days later saying, "Hey, it's been a month since we closed escrow. We haven't talked in a while." And I just talked to them, right? So anytime I talk to them, I want to review my automations and where things are. So that's the way to do that. And if I want this to be automatically launched, for instance, I could launch it on a tag. So I could put a tag in here, for instance, that is like, um, let's just say 0 to 1 million tag means that's their value of the property. It's going to launch this automatically if I put that tag into the system. I could also do it by different fields. I could do it if the pipeline changes to a new lead, it automatically launches that automation, right? I'm not going to install this today, but you have all these opportunities. The last time I touched them, it will the plan will launch. Like if I haven't touched them in a month, the plan will automatically see that I haven't reached out or talked to them in a month and automatically launch a plan to re-engage with them. It could be website behavior. It could be communication. I could say whenever I send them or whenever they send or I receive a text, it automatically will launch an automation, right? So for instance, people that register on your website can come in, and then as soon as I have a communication to or from, it will launch an automation. Okay? So you could do all these things, and then we get to actions. It's really quite simple. You have add a step, and you can see I've got these options in here. So let's say the first thing we want to do is put a text message to them. So it says send a text to the lead, right? And then I can assign it to my agent, or I could assign it to my support, which is my assistant or staff. And let's just say I want to send a text message to my lead and I want it to go out immediately. I like waiting like 3 minutes for everything. So if I launch an automation, I have time to fix it. But let's just say I want to say hi, right? I could do all these things here and make automations that are in this. I could also do auto texting. So I could say first text, and then I can come down here and I could pick templates. Like I could pick stuff that I've already done. Like this is like the first text they get when they join my organization. Hey, this is Coach Byrd, your EXP partner. You are in my organization. Here's my website. So I'm giving them value right away, right? And they get it as soon as they join my company. And then let's say I wanted to call them within a week and say, congratulations. I could hit a call. I could say, call new organization partner. And let's just say I want to do that. I want to wait like 2 days after I've sent them that text. I can just change it to wait 2 days, and then it's going to send me a reminder to do that. And down here, let's just say I want to send them an email. I could pick a template. I could just include that template just like this, select. Okay, sounds good. So now I've got that template that it automatically is going to send out, and that's going to send it out one day. Let's wait a week just to let them get acclimated, right? So now we're going to wait a week and they're going to get this email. You can see how easy you could build this out. So now I'm going to walk you through how to build this out. I'm not going to save this one. I'm going to walk you how to build this out on paper first. What I like to do, take a blank piece of paper and then just start writing the best possible scenario for reaching out. So let's say we have a new buyer, right? Let's go new buyer open house. And I'd like you guys to be interactive on this part. So take your microphones off. You could just open them up if you want to, but if you met somebody in an open house on Sunday, what do you think's the first thing that we could send them in an automation would be? What's the very first thing we could do after we met them at an open house on Sunday?
Ask them if they're working with a agent.
Yep, you could do that at the open house, but you could easily say on Monday, "Hey, nice meeting you. I just want to make sure you're not working with another agent to respect that relationship. Here's my contact information. Would you like me to set up a property search?" Right? You could set that up as an automation. So all you do is get their name and email from the open house, and then you launch it on Monday morning.
And are you pre-approved?
Yeah, obviously, right? We want to. So here's my opinion. You could have a different opinion. You're entitled to it. My opinion is I wanted to meet with them one time. Even if they couldn't afford a Schwinn, I would meet with them one time because buyers have babies, right? They have other friends. And even though they might not be able to afford a Schwinn, they might have friends that can. So I want to
Yep.
make sure I'm not trying to put the pants on them right away. Now, I'm not driving an hour to meet with them, obviously, but if they want to look at a vacant house, it's in my area, I'll meet with them face to face means a lot. So I will do that prior to putting the proverbial pants on them, meaning, have you talked to a lender yet? I'm not showing you your properties until you do. Now, if we've looked at one and we met and they want to look at the second one, even if it's next door, the answer is no. We have to go back and get a game plan together, which is that pre-qualification conversation, putting them with a lender and doing all the things, right? Because I'm a professional. I love it. Good one. What else? What else might we do with an open house lead that came in on Sunday and we've sent them that first message on Monday morning? What's another thing we could do as an automation?
Thank you for coming to my open house. What about the house did you like? What about the house do you wish was different? What are your wishes? What is your dream house? What
I love
is the
it.
perfect house?
I love it. So we could do what you're saying is we could do some kind of survey, some kind of questionnaire, some kind of thing to get them engaging, right? Go ahead, Terry. I saw your name come up or your mic come off.
Yeah, she stole she stole exactly what I was going to
She
say.
stole
Yeah,
what you're going to
she
say.
stole
Shame on
it.
her.
Yes.
So here's think about this. So you met him on Sunday, you've sent him this first thing. What about if you put him on an automated property alert, right? They came into your house, it's 450,000 in Burlingame, or Burlingame's probably 1,450,000. But let's say they came into your house in
True.
Burlingame. You know the neighborhood they're looking at, you know the rough price point they're looking at. You could put them on an automation without requesting permission if you have their email and just start sending them property alerts of anything that comes up in Burlingame for new listings, price reductions, whatever you might want to do, and they'll start getting those reports and then they can fine tune those reports over time as well. That's one of the triggers in my automations is they get three things. They get my contact information and my business statement, kind of my battle cry. Hey, we handle these areas and we pride ourselves in service, whatever it may be. The next thing, they get a property alert for a specific type of property they're looking for. If it's a buyer, they're getting a property alert for homes in their area. If they're a seller, they're getting home valuation tools on a regular basis. The next thing I do is I put them in a market report. So again, property alert is these are houses for sale in Burlingame. A market report are in Burlingame there was 536 homes for sale, 227 escrows, and 117 closed houses. The average sales price is 1.6 million. Whatever is the market statistic for that area is a market report. And then the third thing we'll do sometimes once we build a relationship is our newsletter, right? And then so those cadences will be offset by 2 weeks because they're both monthly delivery. So the buyers are getting homes on a regular basis. They could choose every single day, 3 times a week, only on Fridays. We can edit it to deliver however we want to. And then they get the market report monthly. Let's just say they get that on the first of the month. and then they'll get our newsletter offsetting 2 weeks of that. So they'll get our newsletter every other week. They'll get our market report every month on the first, newsletter on the 15th. And then we'll just put that cadence in forever, right? Until they opt out, tell us to go away. But if you follow that cadence, you're likely going to be delivering value, building trust and knowledge of you and your brand. And then that's how you're going to grow and be available to them. All right. So we got
Wait,
a couple
hey,
minutes left.
Randy,
I'm
real
going to
quick, how often did you say you send an automated market update?
So you could set that up in the system as you're setting it up. You can choose if you send it 7 days a week, 3 days a week. Like in Lofty, you could pick you want to send it out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is what I do, or Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. I do every other day basically.
When you say market update, what does that mean in your terms? Because I think that means something different to me.
And what term was that? Sorry, Terry.
Market, when you said an automated market update, you send that
So,
three times
so
a
you have
week?
two things: property alert, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
houses for sale. Market report is what's going on in the overall market.
Yeah. How often, oh, say, I got the other two. Market report is the term you used. So how often do you send the market report?
Once a month.
Okay.
Ideally, I do it on the first of the month.
Yep. Okay.
And if you do a video about your market, if you do a little quick 2 or 3 minute video, hey, it's Randy Byrd talking about Burlingame
Yeah.
this month, and you're just reading the information, then you back that up with that video embedded into your newsletter or your market report. Powerful.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Okay.
Thanks.
And then again, newsletter is monthly as well, but we alternate it so they're not getting twice at the same time. We alternate every 2 weeks. And the newsletter is about my company, right? This is the Premier Luxury Group. We've got 1,100 partners around the nation. We're in 30 states. If you have a friend moving to Oregon, Idaho, Ohio, or Florida, we can help you with your real estate needs type thing, right? And then so when you put these three things into motion, and by the way, they're all done with clicks of a button. You could put these in motion with a click of a button with these CRMs, set it and forget it until they reach out to you. The last caveat, and I'll ask Elizabeth after this. The last thing is in my automations, I'll make it where I'm calling them every month or every quarter, depending on who they are in my database, right? I can't call 350 database members every month, but I can call them every quarter. That's only 100 a month. That's only 25 a week. That's only 5 a day, right? So that becomes a cadence. So my automations are automatically sending me the 5 that I need to call today. And then if I forget to call, I got 10 to call tomorrow, but they're only sending me 5 at a time because I set it up that way in the automations. Really, really powerful. If you do that, that's how you could be 1,000 transaction a year agent with a system. Because I've coached 2,000 transaction a year coaching client agents. And I personally was running a team doing, I think we did about 144 deals a year. And so these are the systems that we use. But Elizabeth, did you have a question?
Yeah, so for the market report update that you do once a month on the beginning of the month,
Yeah.
like if I'm doing it through RPR, they don't release it like until the 5th or the 6th. So should I be using a different system?
Nope. You could, if you're using their system for the data and the delivery, you could just make it so yours are going out on the 7th of the month, for instance.
Okay.
Most of the MLSs need a couple days to compile the data from the end of the month, but it's totally up to your system.
So if I wanted to set it up like for set to do like a little video, so just kind of do it, take like everything closed into a specific area that I want from the MLS and then just kind of like put it into chat and say, give me a little snit about this type of a deal.
100%,
Okay.
100%. You could even build what's called an agent within ChatGPT and say, I want you to understand an area, and I'll say Burlingame since I've been using it. I want you to create a market report for Burlingame using sales statistics, average sales price. Maybe you could even say migration in and out of the city, do some things like that. And ChatGPT will line it out for you. And then you could say, I want it deliverable by a LinkedIn post, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Create those videos for me and create those marketing pieces for me, and it will do it all for you.
So
Love
like
ChatGPT. Love it. The best.
so for like if it's like a specific suburb, well, it's not really a suburb, like for a little subdivision, like you can make that specifically for that little subdivision using the chat then.
Yes, you could. What I would do in that case, Elizabeth, is I would download the list of the 500 or 1,000 homes in that subdivision, download the addresses. You can get it from title for free, put that into ChatGPT as a file, and then say, this is my demographic. This is my geo farm I want to work in. give me the demographics for this, the age group, the median income, the migration patterns. You could do all that and it will pull it all up for you through public data.
And if it's like a mobile home community where some of that data is not in there, what can I do?
If it's public, the data's in there. If it's
Okay.
ever been on Zillow, it's in there. If it's ever been
Okay.
on Realtor.com, if it's ever sold on the MLS, if it's ever transferred title at the title company, if it's ever been through a permit process at the county or city, if it's ever had a, you see where I'm going with this. If it's public, chat can find it. Okay.
Randy, can I
And
ask
there's
another
also a
question,
deep
please?
search on there that you might want to use if you're getting into real deep analytics and data. Just click the deep search option and it will do a
Mhm.
deeper search. Cool. Terry?
I don't want to get too deep in the weeds on this, but real quick question. So I know that we can get our data, market report data from MLS, but you kind of to piggyback on what you said to Elizabeth with ChatGPT and creating an agent, are you comfortable? Are you comfortable enough using the data straight out of ChatGPT as an agent, using that data for a market update, or do you go in and backfeed that with the actual MLS data as a double check?
So I'm comfortable enough with it if I put a disclosure on it.
Okay, yep, that
Okay.
makes
So if
sense.
you put in the
Perfect.
bottom of your ad, hey, this is ChatGPT data, use it with a grain of salt, then that's okay. And even if you use MLS data, you should probably disclaim it. You should say, hey,
Yep.
this data is from the RMLS on 2226. You
Okay.
could do that little tiny, but it's just a little bit of a CYA, and I think it's valuable.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, thanks.
You bet. All right. Anybody else? Any questions before we wrap up? I know we went a couple minutes over, but I'm good right now. Okay, cool.
I need
I
I need to
Oh,
ask you
sorry.
something
Yes.
off. I need to ask you something offline.
Okay, yeah, call me when you're done.
Yep. Thank
Um,
you.
So thank you for being here. We're here every single week. Even if I'm on the road, I do this in my camera, in my truck or in the boat or whatever, without, being crazy. If I'm in a cave doing some kind of cave diving, then I don't do it because of service. I'm kidding. I don't do that. I hate caves. But I'm here for you. All right. Tell the others, like Johnny Depp says, tell the others, right? Bring people to call. It's broker agnostic. You notice I didn't get into my company and all that too much. It's broker agnostic. I value that. And it's just about moving the needle in your real estate businesses. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being on Like a Boss. All right.
Thanks,
So
Randy.
now go be like a boss.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Randy.
everybody. See you later.